Afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to another Wild Moments powered by Explore.org. My name is Ben Coley. I'll be looking after you for the next half an hour or so. I'm hoping that Taylor will also be joining us as well. She is forthcoming, I am sure. But it is wonderful to see you all again. There is Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Welcome, welcome. We've got a lovely couple of messages coming through already. Aussie Jan, good afternoon. I'm glad you're having your coffee break. And Amber CO, you're wishing us a terrific Thursday. Is it Thursday? I'm never really quite sure what day it is, to be honest, anymore. And thanking us all for the fabulous shows. And you have coffee and a muffin. An excellent, excellent choice. Let's say hello to Taylor. Hello, Taylor.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I have no idea what was going on. Technology just not on my side today.
It's quite all right. Well, we're very, very grateful that you could join us. How have you been, Taylor? Are you well?
I'm good, busy, which is, I suppose, something that you can't complain about. Missing the bush, though. Even though I've only been home for just over a week, I'm already longing for the adventures to head back on safari, but that won't be for a little while. And yourself, Ben, you've been on some exciting adventures.
I have, yeah. I just got back a few days ago from a bit of a jaunt in the Dubai desert, which was very exciting. My first time I visited over there, so I was out doing some astronomy training with the guides from the Platinum Heritage Group and Hero Experiences. So they do astronomy evenings as part of their offerings, and they asked me to come over to teach them a little bit more about the night sky and how to use their telescope and interpret these weird and wonderful things up in the darkness to their guests. So that was very, very exciting. My first visit, I got to go and see the Burj Khalifa, did a few touristy things, but very, very exciting. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm kind of envious. I'd love to head up there.
It's a beautiful place. I was a little worried in terms of how sort of, if I can say, artificial it would be. But I have to say the architecture itself, even though I know nothing about it, is mightily impressive. And I think it's 828 meters high, that Burj Khalifa, and it is insane. I don't understand how we can build something that high that doesn't fall over. I was almost uncomfortable standing underneath it because you're sort of looking up and almost cracking vertebrae to try and see the top of it. It towers above the skyline, but all the skyscrapers and the buildings there they're like something out of I don't know if you've seen Inception, where
Mm-hmm.
fall into limbo and then they build their own skyscrapes and things. That's what it reminded me of. It's insane what we can actually do.
That is amazing that you got to experience that.
And I saw some camels, which I was quite proud of.
I would have been shocked if you did it.
True. I see we've got a couple of other messages coming through. Kuru saying hi to Taylor and Ben, and Laura MC saying good morning from a sunny Texas. Glad you could all join us. And Jan Powers in Arizona saying it's still very, very hot. Let's see, who else we've got? Well, lots of messages coming through. Bridget McKinney saying hi as well. Hello, Bridget. Bowl of Kittens, it's a nice name. Also saying hi, and you finished your kombucha already. Well, you should have paced yourself a little bit better. Otherwise, I suggest have another one. Why not?
Yeah. Slow down.
Right, well, I suppose, shall we crack on and have a look at some of these interesting clips that we've got lined up? I think the first one we're going to view is something rather close to my heart. So let's have a look.
Wow.
Very, very cool. So I believe this was taken out in Namibia. And for any of you not aware what you're looking at there, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can actually see a comet, which has been visible in the skies or the very early morning skies over here for the last few weeks. But it's pretty much disappeared now. It's actually going behind the sun, and it's going to pop out again in about another week or so's time, where will no longer be able to see it here in the southern hemisphere. But if you're in the northern hemisphere, then you want to have a look just after sunset over to the west. and you might catch a glimpse of it quite low to the horizon from around about the 13th, 14th, 15th of October. Is going to be the best time, unless the sun destroys it whilst it's going past the sun. Because remember, a comet is a big block of frozen dust and gas, and we never quite know what's going to happen. The sun is quite warm, let's be honest. And so it could destroy the comet on the way around. So we're waiting with bated breath to see if it survives its passage around the sun. And then hopefully, early morning, it should be easily visible. Sorry, late afternoon, just after sunset, should be easily visible to the naked eye, and you'll be able to see the tail stretching across the sky. It should be a very, very cool thing to have a look out for.
I am so upset that I did not know that we could see this comet from Southern Africa. Like, I'm actually sitting here with my hands on my face going, Taylor, it's because I'm like hardly on social media these days that I don't get to see what everyone's looking at. But that is spectacular. So everybody in the Northern Hemisphere, please, for me, try photograph it. Send me pictures. Oh, that's so beautiful.
It is spectacular, isn't it? Yeah, I'm also disappointed I haven't had a chance to see it. I was obviously in Dubai most of the time when it was visible here in the early morning, around about sort of 5 o'clock was the best time to catch it. It's pretty much disappeared now, and the last 2 mornings I've thought about it, but the weather forecast here has not been very good, and it's been cloudy, so I will have also missed it, which is rather frustrating. I was hoping to get out there and take a photograph of it, but I will have to wait for the next one, but they do say it's potentially going to be one of the best comets we've seen for a while, depending on what happens on its path around the sun. There's a good chance that it will be very, very, very obvious. Last one I saw was back in 2007, actually. First year I came to South Africa, I saw one from out here, and you could see the tail going across the sky and everything just after sunset as well. That was the McNaught comet in
Wow.
2007.
Yeah, yeah, Ben, how do you pronounce this one's name?
That's a very good question, Taylor, and thank you so much for asking me. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to check because I don't know, and I will take a stab at it, and I apologise to anyone who does know how it's pronounced, but it's the Chichinshan Atlas comet. It's normally named after who discovers it. The Chichinshan thing is to do with an observatory in China that saw it, but Atlas is actually based here in Sutherland in South Africa, down in the Karoo, where there's a lot of astronomical research done. So they spotted it about probably 18 months ago now, I think, for the first time. And astronomers do love an acronym. So Atlas does stand for something. Again, I have to check what it is because I have the sneaking suspicion that astronomers come up with a word and then they just build something that fits in with the word that they wanted to work with, this acronym. So Atlas is the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. There you go. So that's where the Atlas part comes from.
Also well pronounced. Mine was way off and it didn't sound anything like what you were going to say. So thank you for saying that. Kind of
Yeah,
set
well,
Ben up there.
thank you for dropping that one on me. I appreciate that.
I was never going to
Let's
let
see. I
it
see we've got a
slide.
no. I suppose not. I did walk into it, and I even put my shirt on specially. I see there's a few other things coming through. So, Mindy Tilpau, you're asking if we've seen the mini moon yet. There's been a whole load of talk about this mini moon, and I don't want to play it down too much, but social media does have a bit of a tendency to blow things out of proportion. So the mini moon is not something you'll be able to see. It's basically an asteroid that's going to be quite close to Earth, but it's going to be like well over, I can't remember exactly, but well over 1 million kilometers away, and it's very, very small, and you wouldn't ever be able to see it. It's basically just an asteroid that's passing close to the Earth. But yeah, social media has made it. We're going to have two moons all of a sudden, but we're not going to see two moons up in the sky. As cool as that would be, unfortunately.
Well, I'm disappointed now and I want my money back. I don't know who I paid money to, but and who I need to write a strongly worded email to, but I'm appalled that I'm not going to see two moons in the sky at once. Sis,
It would.
as
That's
we
a
say.
shame because it would be pretty amazing to see. I see Zygote. You saw Halley's Comet with your naked eye. That might be giving away your age a little bit. Halley's Comet is every 76 years, and I think it's not coming back till 2061, I want to say, will be the next time that we get to see it. But this comet that is potentially going to be, or has been visible and will be visible again, has an orbital period of 80,000 years. So if you do see this one, I think it's fair to say it's going to be the only opportunity in your lifetime.
Do you see why I'm
What
so
else have we got?
disappointed in myself?
Yeah, it is, and likewise as well. You can imagine for me, it's quite disappointing to potentially have missed it. But I might try again
Mm.
tomorrow morning. But every morning it's getting lower and lower and lower to the horizon. When the sun comes up, it's going to be lost within the glare of sunrise very, very shortly. There might still be an opportunity tomorrow morning, but it's getting brighter and brighter by the time you would be seeing it because it's getting so close to the sun. But there's always interesting things to look for. I see Zygote observatory and saw the shadow of Mercury falling on Venus, which, yeah, it would certainly be possible if you're at the right place at the right time. So that would be very cool as well to see the shadow of a planet on another planet that isn't your planet. I think that's very, very cool. Actually,
That
and
was
speaking
amazing.
of interesting things to keep an eye out for, sorry, we're going off track, but you've got me talking now. On the 14th, depending on where you are situated, there is actually going to be a chance to see Saturn going behind the moon. So if you have a
Oh,
telescope and you train it on Saturn, you could literally watch it disappearing behind the moon. So I've got that day booked off pretty much, and I'm going to be trying to take some photos or some video of that happening. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to give it a crack.
amazing. I can't wait to see the photos.
Okay, what else? I think we've got another clip lined up for you. So let's move away from astronomy for a little while and get back to some nature and see what else our cameras have picked up.
My goodness. Before we even get into this, Ben, I have a question to ask you. You know, once we finish doing our checks and I don't know what you call it, but the sort of waiting page comes on in the background. What did you think of that aardvark drinking water? Because I said all sorts of words that wouldn't be allowed to repeat now. And now we have a civet drinking water.
I did also look at it. The bit that I enjoyed the most actually was when he finished and he walked away, and I was enjoying seeing the feet because you so often only get to see tracks of an aardvark. So it was nice to see all those five toes on the back foot. Oh, shame you've got a limp. Oh, what a nasty. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's a big wound.
Sure, that's a
Oh,
yeah proper flesh wound.
that is unfortunate. Goodness. So to where I was going with that was just how special it actually is to see these elusive animals drinking water, and it literally would not be possible, or you'd have a probably more of a chance of winning the lotto than seeing an aardvark drinking. I mean, that's an absolute dream sighting. So that's where these cameras are just so unbelievable. I mean, I probably would have said something, that these animals don't necessarily drink as much because of all the water that they're getting from their diet. But, then we see stuff like this and it happens. Are we able to have a look at that clip again? I'm quite interested about the wound and what you think might have caused it, Ben.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll definitely have another look. It looked quite nasty, whatever it was, but it did look clean, at least, as is often the way. These animals are very, very proficient at keeping those injuries clean. And a limp, but didn't look, I think it possibly looks superficially worse than it is, but I
Hmm.
don't know what would have done that. My first thought would be something like a necrotic thing from maybe a snake bite, but it looks clean and it doesn't look angry, so I don't think it would be that. So yeah,
Could
I'm
it?
not sure.
I wonder if it wasn't almost caught by something and it managed to get away. Ooh, that is such a big wound, but like you said, it's so clean. And you can't see any other injuries, and it doesn't really look like it's lost much condition. You can't see the hips. I know they're quite fluffy, but looks relatively healthy,
I
unless it
agree.
was
It
something that.
looks in good nick. I'm just trying to think what would try and grab it by the leg. Maybe an opportunistic leopard, but you would have thought you'd see more damage if it was a leopard. And why would it have gone for the leg? It probably would have gone for something a little bit more substantial than just a leg. I'm trying to think what else that would potentially take out a civet that could have done that much damage.
Honestly, I have absolutely no idea what that could have been. I mean, the area that it's in Lontori. I'm just trying to think of. There's nothing really there that it could have got caught on. So I'm just literally trying to think of the entire camp setup. So yeah, I'm also completely stumped, but I wonder if um, Tris Vissop is watching because there's our veterinarian. But it's just super interesting to see that to see that entire experience. Wow.
Yeah, it's not every
What
day
was
you get to see a civet close up like that. I'm sure you would agree with them. Most of the time, civets are a quick whiz across the road. You don't often get a chance to really watch one. I remember being in Kruger, was it many years ago now, but I think I was on the road between Lower Sarby and Crocodile Bridge, and it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was a civet walking up the main road towards me, which I thought was very, very odd to see it in broad daylight. And interestingly, when it got a little bit closer, it had lost an eye. So it only had one
Oh,
eye left. It looked like it had healed, but it definitely only had one eye. So the only thing I could think of as to why it would be out and about, maybe it didn't feel quite so comfortable during the night, having lost 50% of its vision, and maybe it had become more adapted to move around during the daytime to avoid danger. But that's probably the best look at a civet I've ever got. But he was totally relaxed. You pretty much pull up the car next to him, watched him for 2 or 3 minutes, but not an opportunity that you get very often.
well, we're having a dilemma at my parents' house because my dog obviously stays here when I go away. And the other night, my mom said she heard one of Tucker's squeaky toys going ballistic outside, but Tucker was not here. So she said she didn't even bother to get up, but obviously the next day she told me about it. And then I went and had a look at the toy, which my dad had to fetch outside of the fence. It was on basically in the bush. And to me, it looks like something has actually tried to open up the middle where the squeaky toy is. It's this big fluffy thing. And I'm wondering if it's either a genet or a civet that has come into the garden because both of them frequent the garden fairly often and thought it was something that they could maybe eat and they grabbed it and they took it outside. I just would have loved to have been in my mother's shoes just in the middle of the night hearing a squeaky toy going, the dog's not here. What's got it?
I suppose why not? If it was a little fluffy thing that makes a sort of a distress noise when you bite into it, I suppose why not? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a small hole that's been made, so wait, that's probably a better angle, like something like that. That if it was a leopard, because you obviously have leopards here, the hyenas can't get in, but a leopard would have also just ripped that to complete shreds. So I was like, it must
Mhm.
be either one of those two. But I just thought it was such a funny story and something I never thought would happen in the bush.
Yeah, well, you never know. Well, let's hope that whatever it was that had a crack at that civet, it got away. And so, I mean, it was obviously fairly recent, but I said it looked in surprisingly good condition, and it's not even just sort of hobbling around on three legs. It's just limping. So I like to think that Civet will make a full recovery because of yeah, they do seem to be pretty good at avoiding infection and things with their antibacterial rich saliva. So let's wish that Civet all the best.
Good luck, Civet.
Right, I say Bowl of Kittens suggesting could have been fighting with another civet. I've never seen two civets fight. I don't know, Taylor, if you've ever seen or heard much about sort of interspecific competition between civets.
Not between civets, but today I won't be surprised because completely off topic, but I saw two gray-crowned cranes almost killing one another. Like there was blood and I never thought cranes would behave like that. So Kung Fu Panda was correct. They are indeed good at karate. So thinking of something like a civet, maybe. I honestly haven't really seen the claws of a civet. Like I don't know, are they sharp enough that they'd be able to rip something like that open? That's all I'm kind of thinking of, and I don't know. What about in a fight with a honey badger,
Oh,
scavenging off
yeah.
the same carcass? I don't know.
Possibly. I think pretty sure their claws are almost like small little dog claws. I don't think they are particularly sharp, as you said. But I see Christy has said here that she thought they looked like it had a wound on the other side on his flank. I don't know if you noticed anything, or maybe we can have one more quick look to see if there was anything on the right-hand side. But either way, he seems to have not been, she seems to be bearing no particular ill effects. So we will cross fingers that continues to right himself. Keep saying him, but it could be a her. But
Not
very
see it
interesting
again.
to see. Yeah. Otherwise, I think we can move on to clip number three, which I think is one of those are cute moments. Let's have a little look see.
Oh gosh, watching giraffe cross rivers is always spectacular.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so small. Oh, no ways.
Oh, it's beautiful, eh?
This is like a Nat Geo moment. Oh my goodness, I'm getting goosebumps. That's incredible to see a young giraffe like that crossing the river.
Yeah, no.
Unaware
Very,
of the
very small
danger
as well.
below the surface. I do like how it's sticking very close to mom. And mom's stopping to have a little look around.
You can actually still see the umbilical cord or the remnants of the umbilical cord hanging down under there, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor, but I think normally would only sort of dry up and fall off by around about the age of 6 weeks. So I'm guessing it's not more than 2 months old at most, this little one.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's tiny, but fairly secure on its feet though. So not like a just a couple of weeks old. Definitely a bit more on the sturdy side. That is incredible. Can you imagine? I mean, I know we're sitting there, but imagine just sitting with your guests. Maybe having tea and coffee on the Olifants River, and then all of a sudden a giraffe crosses. I mean, how special!
Very, very
And there's some
special to see. Yeah, I was a little worried how deep the water was going to be. It would have been fine for Mum, but I imagine she would have thought that through before leading the little one into something too deep. But yeah, my first thought was when I heard giraffe crossing river was like, are we going to see
oops.
something
Yeah,
horrible, which I don't want to see? But
I've
thankfully not.
seen
No, but
giraffe
amazing.
crossing. Oh, sorry. I've seen giraffe crossing the Mara River, and it almost came up to their bellies. That's the deepest water I've ever seen giraffe cross, and I thought it was particularly brave considering the amount and the size of the crocodiles. And I've seen some big crocodiles on the Olifants River too. But when I was in Selous Game Reserve or Nyerere National Park in Tanzania a couple of years ago, we had giraffe crossing the stream quite regularly. And it was just interesting to see how they would all choose a different section. I thought they would have just followed one another and gone with the more shallow route. And I don't know if it had something to do with like surface and texture. So one crossed where it was shallow, but it was very rocky. So it kind of wobbled. Another one crossed where it was slightly deeper, but moved through the water quite quickly. So I wonder if it was just a preference between what type of substrate they're going to walk on. I'd go for maybe a little bit deeper and quicker than the one that was fumbling around on the rocks. One wrong foot, the wrong step, and well, it's tickets for a giraffe.
Yeah, especially you never quite know what you're going to get under there. Yeah, those round river rocks would not be the best footing, certainly. And see,
Mhm.
Mindy Tillipal is also referring on the great size comparison, and that's really right. We often see these lovely baby giraffes, and if mum's left them behind somewhere and you just happen to come across one, it's very difficult to show
Mm.
people uh, the contrast in the size. But yes, to have such a little one next to mum, and she looked like a good sized giraffe as well. But I think even that the little one's top of its skull was only level with her, pretty much the top of her hips at the back. So yeah, a lot of growing to be done. But what is it about? They grow about. Is it? I'm trying to remember. They double in size in the first year, don't they? And it's something like they grow a centimeter a month or whatever it is. I forget exactly what it is, but they grow incredibly quickly.
I have no idea about the numbers, but yes, they definitely grow quickly.
We'll just settle with the fact that they grow quickly. Fair enough.
There we go.
He was Jack de Boer also commenting on how cute the baby giraffe was. Definitely, they are so beautiful to see. All baby animals are very, very cute, but there is something very special about a baby giraffe. Karu, you was disappointed you missed it live. Well, as you said, that's the beauty of being able to watch these cameras. You never know what you're going to see and when you're going to see it. So definitely keep an eye on all of these amazing cameras, and you get to see some incredible stuff. So I get you commenting on the darkness of the mother. Well, yeah, you get darker ones and you get lighter ones, often as a sign of age, often get darker as they go a little bit older, but you never know. But you do see some beautiful dark males every now and again, almost sort of black and tan colored, like well, I suppose like a Rottweiler, almost that sort of coloration that springs to mind. Okay. I think we're almost, what do we, well, we're out running low on time. I think we've got one last camera to show you because we have a new camera in partnership with Sylvan Lodge. And it's at one of their water holes, which is quite far away from the lodge, called Roy's Pan. And it sounds like they saw tortoise pan and langur. So let's have a look at some spots.
There's another size comparison for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it really does look like a mother and a cub. Oh,
Langer has other ideas in mind by the look of it.
absolutely. Again, just another amazing moment. Never mind watching a female leopard try and flirt with a male to get his attention, but we've got reflection shots as well. This is
Yeah,
photographically an unbelievable wild moments show. But you did hear tortoise pan growling. He does look like he's got quite a full belly, though. Still
hmm.
sleeping. Sorry, Lunga. You don't look too impressed that you can't get his attention. Oh, he's
He
up.
does have a full belly. You're right. Yeah.
Let's see what she's going to do next. Now's your chance, girl. He's looking at you.
She's going to play all coy and aloof now. Oh no,
There
maybe
you
not.
go. Oh, hello. No, she's got distracted. She looks like she's seen something.
Yeah, but as you said, a lovely opportunity to see the difference between a male and a female, potentially double the weight. You should see the size of the head. Oh, well,
Oh,
mauling hyena as well.
chonky hyena. Hello. The big belly.
Mhm.
Who's that? Well, you're missing an ear, but you have a tail. Who are you? Oh no, ear is still there, just floppy. Listen to the water thickness. Isn't that incredible? The sound they were making. Sounds like a vulture.
I do love those things where they've got no fear. There's two leopards and a hyena there, and it's like, no, get away, get away.
They are amazing. I know we should be going on and on about the leopard and the hyena, but like Ben said, seeing those interactions, watching something so small stand up. Well, I mean, you could see none of those predators were interested in the thickney, anyways. But what I did find funny once is a big herd of buffalo, about 100 individuals strong, coming down to a waterhole to drink. It was during the day, and a water thickney came out as well, and they were about to walk straight over its nest. And this thing would not move, and it hissed like that and told the buffalo off. That the entire herd of buffalo split and went around this bird and then went to drink on the other side. And I thought, that's unbelievable. Here we are scared, playing out our escape route to climb a tree or to get behind a rock or whatever it is, when all we have to do is open our arms and hiss. We've been taught wrong our whole lives, Ben.
We have. I think it's time to rewrite the books and the syllabus. Yeah, for sure. Just
Exactly.
spread your wings out and hiss. Done. It's going to be
There
a
you
short
go.
book,
We could
but very,
exactly.
very cool to see. Very, very cool to see Langer and Tortoise Pan. Leopards, I think both of us have seen on multiple occasions. Tortoise Pan, I always remember watching him, and I look forward to doing so again in the hopefully not too distant future. But he's such a bulky leopard. I always think of him as being not the tallest at the shoulder, but he's like a tank.
Mm,
Big head, massive, broad shoulders, very sort of barrel chested. I always have these visions of him being, yeah, quite sort of squat and bodybuilder like.
exactly. Yeah. Just no differentiation between neck and shoulders. Just all one. Just traps so big. Yeah. Exactly. Like this though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been in the gym, but I don't know if you know that area very well. I don't know Roy's Pan particularly, but obviously I do know that area. I did once visit Sylvan Lodge a few years ago now, but very, very beautiful lodge, but all in that sort of northern Sabi Sands area. So excellent for leopard viewing and some very well-known leopard characters that one can bump into in there. So I'm sure with this new camera, that'll be a really good one to keep an eye on. And I would imagine we're going to get quite a lot, hopefully, of interesting leopard activity over the coming weeks and months there.
I completely agree with you, Ben. I think it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be back in the Northern Sands, I think, sometime in December. Not sure when you're next going to be there, but I think you said you're going to be there around about a similar time, so we might wave if we happen to bump into each other in that area. The Queen's
Exactly.
Way.
Yeah, always.
Well, I think we're pretty much running out of time now, but thanks everybody so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed our little discussions there and some pretty awesome things to see. So, beautiful giraffe, amazing sighting of a civet. I was obviously very happy to see the comet. And yes, those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, keep your eye out for that comet uh, as in a sort of a couple of weeks' time, just after sunset. And let's hope we get some more amazing leopard activity at Roy's Pan from the Sylvan group there. But Taylor, thanks very much. Lovely to see you again. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other. But unless there's anything you want to add, I think we're going to have to wrap it up for that after that.
Nope. I'll end it with thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.